This is The Tea Mind with me, Erica Moore. It's a space to slow down, step out of the noise and see things a little more clearly. Some episodes are conversations around the moment that something clicked and what changed afterwards. Others are short clarity sessions, a few minutes where we sip tea together so we can come back to ourselves and think clearly in the middle of a full day. Because when the usual pace stops working and everything starts to feel a little bit unclear, the answer is rarely more information. It's usually a little more attention. A chance to pause and to see what's been overlooked, and to create enough space for clarity to find you. Welcome back to the Tea Mind. And if you've got a decision to make, but that choice keeps going round and round in your head and it's costing you energy, then this practice is for you. There are some decisions which we genuinely need to take more time over. But then there's those decisions that we just keep constantly revisiting. We might think about them while making tea. We end up reopening that same mental file tomorrow and the day after that and the week after that. And meanwhile, that decision is still taking something from us. So today we're going to give one of those decisions a little space and see what becomes clear. Today I am drinking Ginger Gut Balance, which is a lovely black tea with a real bright peach flavour, earthy turmeric and a little gentle spice on the finish. So as a fire element black tea, it might invite something crisp, steady and decisive, but I invite you to choose any black tea that you're drawn to today and see what it invites in. And as you pour your tea, just listen to the sounds of it meeting the cup. And just notice the colour deepen as it starts to steep and to brew. Noticing the steam gently rising as you bring the cup closer. Just noticing that aroma before you drink. So let's pause with our tea together today for just a few moments out of your day to be present, allowing the warmth of your tea in your cup to be enough. Feeling your shoulders just gently unwind as you get ready to sip slowly and ease into the next breath. As you breathe in now, just bringing your attention to the cup in your hands, just feeling its weight. Noticing the warmth against your palms. As you slowly take your first sip, just notice what reaches you first. For me, it's that lovely bright peachy note and then the gentle warming ginger coming through afterwards. But your tea will have its own sequence and there's no right or wrong, just pay attention to what you notice and what comes up for you. And pay attention to where that warmth travels to in your body. As you become aware of where you are, maybe you're sitting in a chair or lying down, notice the space around you. And notice that whatever was happening before you press play can wait for just a few moments. You're here, cup in hand or listening along, with that decision in mind. So just bring something to mind that you've maybe been putting off deciding. And don't think about it too much, just notice what comes up for you. You probably already know what it is. And I know this feeling all too well. I am prone to procrastination. And one of the decisions I had to make recently was whether to make the leap into larger premises for etiquette and the tea mind. And more space could mean that we could host more events, host more wholesale customers and welcome more people and really create more opportunities. But it was still a leap and there were lots of pros and cons and I kept revisiting it day after day. But there was a cost to the waiting. There were events that we couldn't host and therefore sales that we didn't make and the opportunity cost as well. But yeah, all this time spent repeatedly making a decision that I hadn't actually made really added up. And take another sip of your tea now and notice the aftertaste this time. Become aware of the warmth that remains after your tea has been sipped. And as you think about the decision that's going around in your mind at the moment, You don't have to push yourself to an answer just yet. Just allow yourself to acknowledge that carrying an undecided decision has a cost too. As you breathe in, just letting your shoulders drop a little, just loosening your grip on the cup and asking yourself, what is waiting actually costing me? Maybe it's an obvious cost, maybe time, or there might be an opportunity attached to it. Or perhaps the biggest cost is how often you keep returning and revisiting that same question. And whenever I catch myself dithering like that, I quite often hear a phrase in my head. And years ago, I met James Watt, the founder of Brewdog. For better or worse, his voice sort of stays with me at moments like this. I'd met him at the Edinburgh Book Festival, and one of the ideas that really stayed with me was to shoot first and aim later. And I don't take that to mean making careless decisions, but for me it's a reminder that at some point thinking stops producing useful information and action gives you real information. Just take another sip of your tea now and notice the flavour that comes to the forefront now. Maybe it's a spice, or maybe it's the tea itself, a little bit of heat. Just notice what you notice now. And as you gently sip your tea, let's use that idea now, bringing your decision back into focus and asking yourself, what do I already know that I keep asking myself to reconsider? And see what comes up. And don't try and build the argument yet, just notice the answer. What do I already know that I keep asking myself to reconsider? And now ask yourself, what could I learn by acting that I can't learn by thinking about this again? And that distinction really matters, because a decision doesn't always need to be perfect before you move. That movement in itself creates new information, and you can see what works, see what didn't, and you can adjust based on something real. And sometimes having a constraint helps as well. A deadline, even if it's a made-up deadline, or a fixed budget, some sort of boundary that stops you endlessly expanding the options. Having constraints in place can really force creativity, and they can make you stop looking for a conventional route and help you find another way to reach the same outcome. As you continue to sip your tea now, just notice what is becoming clearer. Perhaps you know the decision already. Perhaps you simply know what information you really still need. Either is useful, because clarity can also mean recognising that you don't have enough information to move. As you take another sip of your tea now, just notice the flavour once more. And notice what remains after you swallow. And as you breathe in, come back to your decision. You don't need to solve everything that follows from it. Just choose the next action that gives you real information. Maybe that action is the decision itself. Maybe it's sending an email. Maybe it's making a call or putting a deadline against it. So as you breathe in now, just complete this sentence. The decision I'm ready to stop revisiting is... And then decide on your next action and hold on to that. And it's not a promise to get everything right. It's a decision to stop spending energy standing still. And as you set your cup down, noticing that small sound it makes as it meets the surface, you can make a decision and then work with what reality gives you. You can adjust and learn and find another route if you have to. Sometimes the way to clarity is to think, and sometimes you've thought enough. Thank you for sharing this pause for tea with me today. Until next time, take what became clear here today and hopefully do something useful with it. If something in this episode stayed with you, don't try and change everything at once. Just start with a moment. Make the tea, let it steep. Take a breath and notice what is actually there. And from there, choose what matters next. because clarity isn't something that we find, it's something that we make space for. This is the T Mind. Until next time, take care of your attention.